Hi, welcome back to Budgeting on the Go. Here with me, Marie. Today, I'm going to speak about, as the title says down below, I quit my job. So if you guys want to find out the real tea and find out everything that happened, please stay tuned. Okay, guys, I recently quit my job Friday, October the 15th. I formed part of the this wave that's saying the Great Resignation. There were a lot of reasons why I went into quitting my job, and it feels relieving, stress relieving that I don't have to go there anymore. But at the same time, you're like, I don't have like a actual financial plan, which you shouldn't do this, but it is what it is. There were a lot of things that were following up this situation. So, number one was about 3 years back, we got our supervisor changed. About 3 to 2.5 years back, we got our supervisor changed. Now, I had a lot of arguments with this supervisor because she just had like this particular way of treating people and employees, and I just wasn't with it. In the sense that she was like very disrespectful. She did so many things that were not correct. But let me give you guys the background, because now that I quit, I can tell you. I used to work for the government of Puerto Rico in a human resources office. I started off in a daycare as a teacher. They shut down the daycare after 6 months of me working, and then I got transferred to the human resources department. So I was working there for about 7 years. Yeah. I worked with the punch-in system, which was, when you go into work, a physical location, and you either swipe the card on a clock, or you put in your code, your employee code, and you put your finger on it. That's the one we had. So I would work with this. I was working with this system for 6 years. It was 2 different companies. So normally they had anywhere between, during these 6 years, they had anywhere between 450 employees to 730, 40 employees. And I would work with all these employees. And I would do this by myself. And this last company that came told us, you guys need 3 employees minimum to do the work. They never hired the other 2 employees. It was just me by myself. Now, 2 months ago, they brought in someone, and they just told me, you have to give a training. But it wasn't even like that. I walked in one morning, and this girl is sitting in front of my office. And she's like, you're giving me training today. I was like, what? Like, no one ran this by me. No one gave me a meeting for me to know what was going to happen, who was going to be on board with me. Mind you that to work with this system, you needed a specific license so that you can go in with your password. So that people, like this third company, as well as whoever went into the system, could know who made the changes and all of that. So they just put this girl in, and I was like, I have no instructions. And if I have no instructions from the supervisor, from whoever, I can't just start giving training in a delicate system. So they pass her on to another one of my coworkers, and she stays with her for like 2 days. After 2 days, she brings her back to my office. Mind you, still no supervisor or no one has given me instructions. They bring it back to my office and they say, you got to take it today. I said, no. I have a schedule. I have a schedule that I formed for myself. I got things I got to do on the system because I'm working by myself. So there's things that need to be done. You have to register employees. You have to print out assistance sheets twice a month. You have to monitor 13 punch-in locations. You have to communicate with other supervisors. You have to communicate with this third party, company. there's a lot. Like, I'm not just sitting there staring at the screen. So she says, oh, you got to take her today. I said, no, I got a schedule. And the only day I could take her is on Thursday, which is my day that I'm a little bit lighter on task. And I have the time to actually sit there and more or less teach her a little bit. So this co-worker says, well, you know what? I'm calling the supervisor. And I said, yeah, go ahead, call the supervisor, because I got a thing or two to say about a thing or two. And she calls her up right in front of me. And the supervisor doesn't answer. I was good with it. She left. She didn't bring her back till I said so. So she brings her back on Thursday. The girl sits right back in front of my office because she said, you taking me on Thursday as you said? I said, fine. I take her in on Thursday and I sit in front of the computer, right? Because I tell her, this is what I do. I do this. Sit down and start working, right? Because that's what they brought her for. They brought her for to start working, to start doing her thing. So since she had previous experience in systems, you know, apparently you didn't have to give her a lot of training, as they told me. Plus, she had been 4 days working with my coworker who also works in the system, but different task. Like, she doesn't do what I do. She does more like payroll stuff. So they bring her back and they're like, oh, she's a whiz at this. Fine. So I taught her. I said, listen, I'm gonna leave you at the basics. Like, I showed her everything I do, but I left her at the basics. Like, the bare minimum, the most lightest thing that you could do within what I was doing. Like, the simplest thing, which was, if, let's take me for example, if I was absent one day and I wanted it as a sick leave, but the system registered it as a vacation leave, then all you had to do was go into my timesheet, hit the day, take out vacation, and put in sick leave. I mean, I think that's pretty simple. That's the most simplest thing that you could do. So I gave it to her. I said, listen, I started off, we did this by boxes, like August boxes, because we had anywhere between 26 to 30 departments, I think. So we did it by boxes, or I did by boxes because I was the only one doing it at the time. And I was with her for like a whole month teaching her. Mind you, during this time, the girl tells me she's getting paid a whole lot more than I am. Like, you just started in the system that I've been working for, like with this company, with this particular company, I had been with it for like 3 years. And they just like gave her a raise to do what I was doing. Like, she was in another department and they told her, if you go do the punching systems, we'll give you a raise. And they gave her a raise. And I was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, I'm the one giving training. I'm the one doing all the work, and you're going to give this person a raise? I said, fine. So the girl proceeds to sit down and she tells me, you're doing a lot of work. Like, this is a lot of work. I said, fine. So what they wanted was, our balances were done manually. So manually, the girl would take an assistant sheet, she would do it manually, and she would tabulate how much we had accumulated of vacation and sick leave. They wanted that to be transferred into the system. I said, I ain't got no problem with that. But I don't do the manual assistant, so I don't know how far apart she is. I contacted the company. The company told me how to put it in. I used myself as an example. I put my stuff in, and it wasn't giving me the same results that the girl had manually. So I was trying to tell them that. I said, listen, this system is not giving the same thing that's there manually. The supervisor proceeds on contacting the company and asking them to give her all the instructions on how to put this. Because according to her, I didn't know what I was doing. According to her, no. I was just trying to sabotage the system so that it could just keep going manually, and I wasn't doing the job as it was supposed to be done. When I told her that she could sit down and supervise and see how I'm putting it in and seeing the instructions. But okay. So the supervisor proceeds on coming into my office, because she argued with me basically every day. And that, you know, after 3 years, that kind of gets boring and tired, because I'm trying to do a job here. I'm doing a good ass job, if I say so myself, because no one was complaining about it. The only thing was that we didn't have the balances in, but as soon as like the balances were in, everything could be run more or less. So she comes in and she tells me, oh, we got to put all this in by December. I said, no, ma'am, you can't put this in on December. So she starts questioning, why can't I put it in on December? I want it on December. I said, ma'am, we only work 2 weeks in December and then 2 weeks off. What time frame do you have to see if it's working properly? You got to put it on to November the 30th, and then December we'll run it. So when we come back in January, we see if it ran well or not. Or, you know, we can monitor it, and like the first 15 days of December before we leave on vacation, we can see if it's tabulating right or not. So she analyzes it and she tells me, well, that sounds more or less right. But we all had to stop doing, I had to stop doing my job to go and do the manual tabulations of vacation. She put 2 other girls, so it was 4 people doing manual tabulations to try and get them up to date so that we could put this in on November. Mind you, I'm still doing the system work. So I'm doing 2 jobs. I'm doing manual tabulations, but I'm also doing system work. It was a lot. Also, I would use my personal vehicle to go check these 13 locations. I use a knee brace. I need double knee replacement. I use a cane to walk. This last time the IT, they switched up to a new IT. The last time I went to check one of these punch-in boxes that were messed up, the IT says, I need you to come with me to the 2nd floor. I'm like, you need me to what? I'm like, do you see I have a cane? I got a knee brace. I could barely get out my vehicle. And you want me to go up 2 flights of stairs? I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't do that. I can introduce you to other people and have them take you upstairs. I can't go upstairs. Besides, the punching box was at the bottom. What he wanted to do in the 2nd floor, it had nothing to do with me. It was more IT work. But since he was new, he didn't want to go up by himself. I'm like, you're on your own with that one because I can't go up no stairs. So then we go into the COVID. That was another thing. I cannot get COVID vaccinated because my doctor gave me an order that I can do COVID vaccination. Why can't I go to my doctor to ask her for a specific letter? Because I have no vacation leave and I have no sick leave. Like, it's in 0-0 because I've had to be absent a lot due to my condition. I have a toddler, which I've had to take to the pediatrician, and sometimes I don't have a babysitter, so I have to stay with him. So it's been quite a challenge. So I haven't been able to accumulate much. Plus, I had a couple days saved up, and someone in the office was sick with mycoplasma, and they gave it to me, and I had to be 7 days out, which was negligence from the office, because if they saw this person sick, sniffling, no voice, coughing, come on now, you got to be mindful. What if it would have been COVID? We all would have been sick. So I got the mycoplasma. I had to be 7 days out. So then when I proceed to go back in, she says, you got to go get COVID tested weekly. Every Friday, you got to get COVID tested. It's something that came down from the governor. So I'm like, I'm okay with it. So I started going to my doctors because you need an order to get COVID tested. So I went to my doctors the first time, and they're like, what you need it for? I said, because they wanted at work and able for me to go to work. I got to have it. So I go. So then another one of my coworkers who just chooses not to be COVID vaccinated says, listen, they're doing this center and they're doing a line. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, _budgetingonthego Instagram, you will see that I did a couple of stories where I was in this long line. I would go in my personal vehicle and I would make a 3-hour line to get COVID tested every Friday so that way I could go back on Monday. So this last Friday, which was, it was, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. It was the 8th. It was October 8th, which was, I believe it was a Friday, October 8th. My back was giving out, and I couldn't really get up to go down the stairs because I have to our house is a second floor home, so I can't go down the stairs. So I proceed to notify my supervisor, listen, I can't get up out of bed. My knees are bad. My back is bad. There's no way I can go to work. So she's like, okay, hope you get better. I go in on Tuesday and she's like, I need all your vaccination, your previous vaccination history when I had been sending it to her. I think the last one I didn't send to her because I think I got it late. Normally I would get it at 12 in the afternoon and it didn't come in, so I was kind of worried. So it came in late, so I couldn't send it to her. So on Tuesday, she's like, no, I need all your vaccination, all your COVID testing. I need all your COVID testing, and you need to do this week. I mean, you didn't do Fridays. And I said, well, if I couldn't go down the stairs to come to work, I can't go down the stairs to go get COVID tested. So she's like, no, you got to get COVID tested. And also, I want to let you know that from now on, all the hours that you will be out during all these Fridays are going to be taken out from your paycheck. Because since I didn't have sick leave or vacation leave, the next thing is they take it out of your paycheck. So I was like, what? She's like, yes. I already get paid a very, very low wage. I get paid $7.25 an hour. So, you know, we don't, our full time here is 36.5 hours. So I work $7.25 an hour. So I was going to have to take out every 2 Fridays, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever time it took. So I was angry. Not a little bit, I was like really angry. I'm like, what? Okay. So I proceed to go into my vehicle and I sat down 10 minutes. You know when you need those 10 minutes to breathe, inhale and exhale because you feel like your head is about to explode. I proceed to go into my vehicle. There's 2 people outside. And they're like, or do you feel sick? I said, no, I'm literally angry. I'm like angry. I'm like really livid. I'm angry. So I sat in my vehicle, breathed for 10 minutes. You know, when I felt that, I calmed down. I go back into my office. So I didn't leave my office into my lunch break. My lunch break, I heated up my food, but I have to go by the supervisor's office to get to the microwave. So I go. One of the girls that stayed during her lunch break asked me, listen, how do I do this? And I explained to her more or less. I said, listen, you got to do this. So in that time that I'm in closing my office, the supervisor is going to different employees looking for gossip. That's how she always ran the office, based on gossip. So she goes and she picks up gossip. At 2 o'clock, she reunites me, goes gets her other employee, sits her in the office. When I walk in, she's like, I got a reunion right now for you at 2. And I was like, really, another meeting in one day? She pulls me into the office. And when I go in, the employee that's sitting down to listen to the whole reunion, just in case, you know, what they do, she gives me this smirky smile. Like, you know, that one smile where they know what's happening and it's like, ooh, I know what's going down. Like, I know that they're gonna scream at you again. Like, when he's smirky, like, you know, like, I was like, okay. I proceed to go. I sit down. She proceeds to take out what the government had made. They issued the whole, was an executive order. She proceeds to take out the executive order. And she reads it to me. I said, ma'am, I understand. And I've never been against getting COVID tested. And I have all my analysis. The only one that I don't have is this Fridays because I was sick and I couldn't go down the stairs. So if I can't go down the stairs for one thing, I can't go for another. She's like, oh, I heard from other employees you're out in the hall saying that you're angry. You cannot be out in these halls expressing that you're angry. You cannot be in the halls expressing that you're angry. You tell me why you angry. And I just looked at her like, is this lady going crazy? Like, what type of psycho treatment is this? So I just stayed quiet and I looked at her. And she's like, no. You're going to tell me because I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your eyes that you're angry. Go ahead and tell me right now why you're angry. I want you to tell me. And this is all this attitude that I'm showing y'all. This is the same attitude this lady had with me. And I know someone is sitting in the back and she is just like giggling her self away. And I'm like, I got this. Never mind that the girl that's sitting in the back is supposed to be a religious, God-fearing, church type of person. And I just stayed there quiet looking at her. I said, Jesus, let me bite my tongue till blood comes out, but I'm not going to speak. So then she proceeds to tell me, tomorrow morning, you will get COVID tested. If you do not have a COVID test in your hands, you cannot come into the building. So my entry was prohibited to the building till I got COVID tested on Wednesday. I said, okay, I understand. Never mind that I was getting that on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, I had to already take time off my paycheck again. So I had to take time off of my paycheck on Wednesday and on Friday to get COVID tested. So that was 3 times in 1 month that I was going to get. How much was I going to get paid this time? Or how much balance would I have? Possibly whatever I was accumulating was all going to leave on this. And I was like, oh gosh. So I proceeded on Wednesday to go get COVID tested. While I was sitting in the office, when she finished saying everything she had to say, I said, ma'am, are you done speaking? She's like, yes. And I'm like, may I get up and leave? She's like, you're angry. You're angry. You got to tell me why you're angry. You just can't be in the halls telling everybody. Mind you, I wasn't even saying in the halls that I was angry. It was her picking up gossip. Because at no particular time did I in the hall say that I was angry. So, you could tell she just went out picking up gossip to whoever told her everything about me. Wednesday, I proceeded to go and get COVID tested. When I go to get COVID tested, I go to my doctor's because it's the only thing that I could do on a Wednesday, because the free days were only on Friday. So I said, dang, I'm going to have to pay $40 or $85, whatever it costs, to go get COVID tested because this lady's not going to let me in the building. So I go to my doctor's. When I go to my doctor's, it's like, man, we're not doing that anymore. You can't come pick up here a COVID test in order for work. What you have to do now is go to all the different labs from here to Lord knows whatever towns. You got to go to all the labs and see what lab is willing to do a COVID test for your job without a COVID test paper. I said, okay. And that's what I proceeded on doing. I finally find one in the middle of a town where I have to go circles and circles and circles trying to find a parking space because there's no parking lot that you can actually pay and just leave your car there. There's none of that. You just have to circle around the block and try to find a parking. So that's what I did, and I did this for 45 minutes till I found a parking space. I almost fell because I had to go down and up sidewalks to try and get to the lab, and with my knee brace and the cane and everything. So I proceeded on going, and I brought her back her test that she wanted. And while I was in my parking space where I parked at work, it was a handicap parking space. It wasn't really mine, so it was just a handicap parking space. While I got there, I emailed her the COVID test that I had got it done, and then I went in. She proceeded to going through the halls. Like, she kept going in front of my door, in a provoking way. And then she sat outside to gossip again with some employees, and I just stayed inside minding my business and doing my work. Then on the Thursday, I went to help out with some work. And just, I did some work that I had to do with other employees, which wasn't what I do. But since the other employee asked me for help, I said, then let me do it because it's all related to the same thing. And I took the decision. I took the decision of no more disrespect. No more trying to shame me. No more trying to say that my work is horrible from this person. You can tell that this person is a person that's been, number one, hurt a lot in life. Number two, is not happy in life. Number three, she gets a lot of heat from a lot of people in the actual work environment because they say that she don't do her work. So the way that she manifests it is by mistreating employees. I told her this to her face once, that she was like mistreating employees, and I stand by you. That's not the way to work. You don't work off of gossip in the human resources department. You don't work off of shaming your employees, trying to say that you have such and such degree. I've always said, and I will stand and stick by it as an educator's point of view, because I do have an educator's background. I will stand by it. Not everyone that has a degree is educated. Just because you got a paper that says you got a degree don't mean you educated. You went to school, but whatever happened in school didn't go through you. And I will stand by that as an educator. And I would always constantly say this. If you could have 30,000 degrees and people will never know, because you're not proving it with the way you work. Now, you can have a high school, a middle school diploma, but you work it behind off and people will think you have a high level degree. And I just said I wouldn't take any more abuse. Like I said, that's it. I've reached my limits. This has been 3 years, and I said I've reached my limits. Enough is enough. And I'm a very God-fearing person. And I said, you know what? This was just a, how do they say this? This is a stepping stone. This is a season. That's what it's called. It's a season. I was only supposed to be there for a season and a reason. Once I acquired all of this, I have more people to help out there than what I was doing there. There, I was possibly helping out 700 some people. Out here, I can help billions. So God has a calling for me. So I believe that, it was time for me to resign. It was time for me to go through what is going to happen from now on. Since I do need double knee surgery, I can't go out looking for another job, right? So I'll continue to do my YouTube. I want to challenge myself to do videos all November, like every day of November. I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm trying to challenge myself. Also, the business, I want to continue doing the business. And I don't know if I will possibly apply for my Social Security benefits. Possibly, not too sure, but possibly that's the route that I'm taking right now. I was just waiting for them to send back my resignation letter signed, because I resigned, and I had to send in my resignation letter through email, because if not, I was going to have to get COVID tested on Fridays just to go give in my resignation letter. I said, I ain't got time for that. Like, I have no time to spend 3 hours in a COVID test line just to give in a freaking paper of resignation letter. I said, no. I sent it in by email. Emailed everybody and their mama. I emailed the biggest gossiper they got. Make sure that my letter was read. And exactly at 9 a.m. I got a call from another supervisor saying, are you sick? I was like, no. I noticed you didn't come today. Are you sick? I said, no, I resigned. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear, because there's gossip that you resigned. I just wanted to make sure that the gossip was right, unless they were planning on firing you or something. I said, no. I gave him my resignation letter yesterday. He was like, oh, okay. So as you can see, the gossiper made sure that it was spread. So I know they received my letter, so that's a good thing. But I'm waiting for them to send one back, because they have to send one back saying we accept your resignation from the mayor. So I'm waiting for the mayor to do that, to be able to apply for the Social Security benefits. That's what I have on my hands right now. That's what I have on my plate. I got a 3-year-old I got to maintain, or I got a 3-year-old that I got to, feed, clothe. I got to keep going. So this is my alternative at the moment right now. Unless like this business and stuff starts generating income. Plus I'm supposed to get surgery in January for double knee replacement. So it keeps getting pushed back because of COVID. Till now, I have an evaluation in January to be able to do all the process for the surgery. Hopefully that's going to go down. But that's what we have till now. That's why I quit my job. I just, I trust God. I know that I'm not going to be missing anything in life. And I do feel very, very, very alleviated. I can tell you that I feel very, very stress-free, alleviated. I don't have to go anymore to wonder if someone was going to go into my office, argue with me like every day. I ain't got to worry about nobody stalking me on my phone. Why you absent? Why you keep being absent? What you... Like, can you do this, do that? Like, my personal phone was also used for work. So, you know, now I feel like I broke those chains of mistreat, broke those chains of abuse. Like, we just broke all of that. So, thank God, you know, that I made the plunge and that I was able to quit this job. Now, I'll keep you guys tuned on everything that happens. If I apply for the Social Security benefits, if I continue with this, I'll let you guys know what happened. I like being transparent. And for the rest, like, you ain't got to worry about, like your medical plan. Just go to government help. Like, go to your WIC. Go to your food stamps. Go get government help. If you didn't... like, if you don't have enough for Social Security, you can get SSI. I would tell you, if you have a chronic health condition, attend your condition. Like, I know work is important, but attend your condition. No one is going to be there when you're in a bed. No one is going to be there to help you up. No one is going to be there to take you to your doctor's appointment, your medication, to pick up your medication, do your lab work. No one is going to be there for that. So be mindful. If you got a family you got to, like, continue to be with, be mindful, okay? Thank you all for watching. I will do upcoming videos. Like I said, I'm going to try to do November filming back to back. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that. Trying. But more videos will be coming. So make sure to subscribe, share, and thumbs up if you are part of this whole resignation, or you just tired of your job, or you just want another alternative. Just give this video a thumbs up. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you in the next video.